Welcome to the Golden Hour. I am your host, Golden Duffy, and I have an incredibly inspiring and exciting guest today. I've been waiting for this guest for a while. This is someone who I really revere as not just a person, but as someone who is really living his truth and becoming more every single day and showing other people how to live truthfully and authentically and become, everything that God intended us to be. So Cary Grant is the founder and CEO of SoURce Coaching, immersive coaching, corporate training, product and brand consulting, and podcast host. He has a YouTube channel. He is an incredibly inspiring person. And I know through this show, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, I'm not going to read his whole bio because we're going to go through this together so that we can kind of dig deep into the Cary Grant that he wants everybody to know. He wants everyone to see his transformation so that he can show you that it is completely possible to reinvent yourself, to live your highest and best self, and to really give yourself to the world in a way that allows us to raise the consciousness of the world, which is what we are all about. All right, here we go. Welcome, Cary Grant.
Well, this feels like a long time coming, right?
It really
For
does.
all those watchers, and you thought it was going to be the other Cary Grant? No. Nope.
Right?
Me.
I always forget that you have this like totally famous name here.
It is. The further it goes, though, the less people even know.
Really?
There's folks like us that know, and then there's people that, are younger and they go, huh?
Yeah, the generations are losing it. Darn it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It serves me. I still giggle at it.
Yes.
And it could be another name. I like Cary. So
I just love it. Cary Grant it's definitely a showman's name for sure.
Yes. And I do want to acknowledge what you said. It does feel like a long time coming. And thank you for the pause that I gave. I sent you many proxies to work with in my absence. And I'm thankful to be on the show with you and get done what we can get done, like what you were saying, to heal what's around us the way we can.
Right. And I totally believe in divine timing. So I always trust that when somebody is really ready for the show, it's time for the show. There's no, the universe doesn't pressure. There's no desperation. It's like everything lines up exactly when it's supposed to. And the day that you texted me and said you were ready to go, I was literally thinking of you. And I was like, okay, here we go. This is it. It's amazing. But I want to dive into your bio because I really feel like, you shared that growing up was something that you should never have survived and that you had to overcome numerous challenges, including, I got to dive into this, being adopted twice and having 3 different last names, being bullied, labeled stupid because of learning disabilities, enduring cruelty and violent physical abuse, and raised lovelessly. That just hit me so hard that I was like, I can't just read this bio and not talk to you about it because that's a traumatic childhood, right? And now here you come to the table and you're sharing so much of yourself and so much of your healing that you are here to show people what is possible from an upbringing that was, that a lot of people maybe wouldn't have recovered from.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am. Does it really say loveless?
Yeah.
Because if it does, I'm going to go back and alter that.
Okay.
So I want to get out in front of that first.
Okay.
It's not so much that it wasn't loveless. It didn't feel loving.
Mm-hmm.
The people that were involved did it the way they knew how to do based on what they were taught or what they thought the best was for me. Yep. So I don't want to have it come off as like they didn't love me. They love me their way.
Right. Exactly. Everybody's doing the best they can. I say that all the time. Yeah.
That's right. Yep. So let's and through talking about this part, you'll actually see where there was love present.
Right. Right.
So let's see. So let's go through the names first. So born Cary William Grant.
Okay.
Then my grandparents adopted my sister and I at 3 years old.
Okay.
The name then changed to William Cary Jones.
Wow. So they even changed your first name. Oh my goodness.
Sure, sure. Then at 10, my real mother adopted me back, and it went to William Cary Dominique. Now,
Wow.
I went by Bill, so Bill Dominique.
Okay.
Then, somewhere, I think it was like my junior year, close to the start of my senior year of high school, I found my father.
Okay.
And I, somewhere in there, landed back to birth given name, which is actually William Cary Grant, and I go by Cary Grant, right? Like
Gotcha.
who's not gonna like go by Cary Grant?
Right.
So so yeah, like
So
I
through
wonder why
this,
I have a wonder why I have multiple
I was going to
hats that
say,
I can put on, right?
right, like this
I'm not used to it.
identity crisis. Like here you are in some of the most pivotal years of your life. And not only are you switching homes and guardians, but you're switching names. So like talk about like de-identification. I talk about identity creation all the time. And some of the people that I listen to even will say like move to a different country and change your name. Like de-identify with everything that you've ever known. So
Still gonna
what's
be there.
going on with you through this process? Are you lost in all of it or are you reinventing yourself? Like what's happening?
Well, now I use it as a tool. I'm
Yeah.
able to switch myself so quickly and be situationally aware. I need, excuse me, need. Woo! I
Woo!
want to be aware of who I'm in front of. Is it my
Yes.
wife? Is it my 6-year-old son? Am I inside of a church? Am I
Yep.
coaching? Am I with people that could feel inferior or needing? So for me, it gives me this innate ability to just switch and be
Right.
who I need to be effective, to
Interesting.
be potent with who I
Mhm.
have an opportunity to be effective and potent with, right?
Love that. Yep.
So so that's the tool now, right? Like so that's how do I utilize it now. It's actually a massive gift,
Yep.
and not many people have it, and I'm thankful for it. Now
Well, and
back then,
that's the beauty of connecting with your trauma and healing and then using it as a gift and a tool. Yeah.
agreed. Uh,
Beautiful. So
so
so there was quite a bit of bullying, it says, and then there was some drug use, which is, I mean, an addiction to meth, I can't even imagine coming out of that and becoming who you are today. Like, I feel like if you can speak to that to people, I mean, that's the lowest of the low, would you say? Like, as far as like a life experience, having your
no,
life,
I think that that would be an easy one for, but however, being suicidal
yeah, yeah, right?
would trump that addiction because inside of a addiction is also a euphoria and an addiction to the drugs. There's a
Right,
high to it. Now,
right.
whether I'm self-deprecating and throwing my life down the drain, blah 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 blah, I'm still like woo drugs, right? But
Yep.
I would say that being suicidal is. I want to circle back to the childhood part of it though.
Okay, let's go.
So, so for me, the blessings that I can pull apart now is, my mother and my father gave my sister and I up because they were going through a divorce. And then I actually found out that my father was heading to prison. He was
Okay,
caught with some cocaine kind of thing. And so they
okay.
kind of needed to give us up. Now I can see the love in my actual grandparents adopted us.
Mm,
Now I also have since I'm right here, I also have the unique ability, like the whole apple from the tree situation. Well, I
yep,
was raised by my grandmother, and then
yeah,
my real mother adopted me back. So I
mm,
got to see where she was either softer or harder in her way of raising a child. Right.
right.
So I could see the viciousness because my grandmother was vicious. She
Oh, really?
savagely beat me.
Oh, wow.
I spent most of the time in a bedroom because she didn't know how to control my energy because I was as uppity as I am right now, right
Right.
at 51. It hasn't
Yeah.
stopped. And so her thinking was to have me sit in a single chair in the living room watching TV. Don't move.
Oh,
And so then when I got into the classroom, I'm like, because I
oh my
didn't.
God.
Like
Yeah.
like right now, I have a 7-year-old, my 7-year-old boy. I'm very clear a kid needs to be in soccer ASAP.
Yeah.
Because when
Yeah.
he is, he'll earn the energy and then he'll sit calmer in class, blah, 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 blah.
Ah,
So, yeah, I mean, at one point before the adoption, I was so mentally disturbed from either what was going on at school
mhm.
or the way my grandmother was being with me as I was peeing in the closet.
Oh,
Now,
no.
what's sketchy is you're talking about 8, 9 years old. Now,
Right.
here's the weird part. The toilet was on the opposite wall.
Weird.
I could have literally walked out of my room and walked, and the right there.
So you were just afraid to leave your room?
Yeah, and I just,
Yeah.
which is where a lot of the there's something wrong with him, learning abilities, blah blah blah. Maybe not. Maybe stuff's not good at home. Like, hello. And
Yeah.
then my sister was getting everything because she was very calm and they nurtured her, and so I know that was hard. And there was
Yeah.
times, like where my grandmother dealing with me was, pack your bags, go sit out front. The cops are on the way to pick you up because you're a bad boy.
Oh
And I
my,
would sit out as a child in the
yeah.
front yard waiting for the cops to come. And every now and again she'd come out and, hey, they're on their way to get you. They just got busy.
Oh, wow.
I can
Fear,
remember that.
holy
I
fear.
can remember
Yeah,
that a half a dozen times.
that's intense.
So at 10, what I found out later, my real mother and her new husband that she did love,
Mhm.
framed it as they wanted a child, and so they were gonna take me home with them over Christmas, and I was gonna go be with them. And what did I think about that? Well,
Wow.
let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go because
get me out of here. Yeah.
I
Wow.
found out later that my grandmother had told my mom that she was going to put me up for adoption if she did it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm still dealing with abandonment issues,
Yes,
like
yes. Yeah.
abandoned at 3,
Yep.
caged in a room. Nobody likes me. I'm too weird. I'm too much, whatever was going on for me. And
Yeah.
then I want to say I found out that the adoption was forced, if you will, because it
Mhm.
wasn't. She could have. I think I found that out at 14, 15. So
Wow.
so 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 I get into my mom's home and her idea, not at first, right?
Mhm.
At first it was the honeymoon. They wanted a kid. I wanted to be a kid. I had a
Right.
chance to become somebody new. The name change. There's the
Yep.
name change again. Okay,
Yep.
cool. Like all that sucked. What do I got to do different to do to be better in school? Not better in school, but not be picked on, right? So the
Right.
thinking going on just as a child, as a 10-year-old.
So you moved to a new school? Did you move to, like, a new town and everything?
I did. I moved from San Antonio to Houston, and then they kept me back into 5th grade. I think 5th grade was about halfway done, and they went ahead and decided because I was having such learning disabilities that they were going to have me just start 5th grade over. So it gave me an extra long summer with them, get to know them get to know me. Thankful for that, by the way. That was
Yep.
a very, I think, wise, right?
Yeah.
And then after the honeymoon wore off, if you will, my mother became a savage.
Oh,
I'll give you a couple of quick examples. Uh, in my 13, 14 era was when she would wait for me to fall asleep and she would come pour cat litter on me because I forgot to empty the cat litter.
oh,
And that was
man.
my job.
Oh,
Or
man.
I'd forget to take out the trash and she would pour the trash on my bed. Now, what's going on for me as a child in a way where that only happened more than once?
Right.
You'd think maybe I'd
Yeah.
learn, "Oh, I should probably remember to do the cat litter." But I was
Right.
so starved for attention, any kind of tension, if you will.
Right. Right.
She'd pour
Subconsciously.
water, pour the ice trays on me because my job was to do the ice trays. She'd go
Now
to the
yeah, go ahead.
she'd go to the dishes in the kitchen and find a dirty dish, and I would spend Saturday washing all the dishes out of the cabinets, drying them and putting them back because I didn't know how to clean dishes well.
And none of this is working, correct? Like, this isn't, like, changing your behavior, right?
I don't know, but I know now. I
Mm.
know that I am incredibly diligent.
Yeah.
I know that a part of the supercomputer that I became before I stepped into EMDMR this last year, therapy,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was a supercomputer. There was no snowboarding unless the dishes were done. There
Right.
was no TV unless this is done. So
Right.
the diligence and the discipline and rigor that I bring to my life came from a tragedy. But I can tell you this, I get things done and I know how to get them done because I don't forget things to a certain degree other than I just rolled over 50 and I'm starting to forget some things. I'm unbelievably thankful for it now. And I'm
Right.
willing to admit that's been going on for 20 years, but for the last 10, very big. But I
Right.
started to discover it 20 years ago. Like,
Wow.
I'm really creative because my mom was creative. I'm
Yeah.
super diligent because my mom taught me to
Yeah. Now,
be diligent.
was that her mom that adopted you?
Yes, ma'am.
So these were, I mean, this is generational traumas that were being
Yes, ma'am.
passed on that you, I would believe now are breaking.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Whew,
I think
man.
I can. So I can leave. I need. I wanted to bring some more context to that part of my life before we
Yeah.
started jumping into drug addiction and things like that.
Yeah.
So to create the foundation of why things started to twist out the way they did.
Yeah.
So my mom kicked me out of the house at 15 years old. I was a
Mhm.
junior. Um, I'm going to skip a bunch of that stuff and then go into I thought I found my dad.
Okay.
Now, right here, I'm going to go ahead and interject a part that just happened. He passed away a year ago,
Oh.
and he actually was not my father.
Oh. Oh, wow.
I feel like I just did a Jerry Springer thing right there.
Wait,
No, no,
what?
no, no, wait.
Well, hold
So,
on a
so
second. How long did you
By the
believe
way,
you were your dad?
I'll do it. I got you. I got you. But you're gonna love this. So, somewhere around junior year, I get a call from my mom. She said, "I got a letter from you from your dad." So she protected my address. He
Okay.
wanted to write a letter to my sister and to myself. My mom said, "Yeah, no, you can write it to me. I'll get them to her." Right.
Okay.
So she does. So my world is not doing well again.
Right.
No drug addiction yet. Right.
Yeah.
Not going well again. Um, and so, long story short, I wound up creating a relationship with him and I moved to Vegas. That's what brought me to Vegas.
I
My
see.
mom ran her mouth in the small town that I grew up in, like, 5, 10,000 people. And people kind of knew what your poop smelled like before it hit the toilet kind of town. It just, there was no, everybody knew everything. And she made sure that I couldn't even come back home, which I didn't really want to. I never wanted that small town stuff.
No.
So she
No.
kind of in a way did me a favor.
And wait,
So now,
where was that?
Houston.
Okay, Texas. Okay.
Yeah, and then my dad was here in Vegas.
Vegas. Okay.
So what I found out was he said my grandparents hid me. I found out he was in prison.
Oh my goodness.
So he couldn't reach out or he
Right.
was too embarrassed to.
Oh my
Right.
God. Yeah.
So there's that. Because
Yeah.
he blames the name change on hiding me. Sorry, man. Social security number is social security number. Like, come on, think that
Right.
through.
Right.
So there was now here's what I will say. My father served our country and my
Mm.
mother chose to do some things which led her to be pregnant while he
Okay.
was out of the country.
Oh, interesting.
He claimed me as his own. So there is a
He knew?
respect.
He knew you
Yes, ma'am.
weren't? Oh my goodness.
Right. So I got a respect for him. And you
Yeah.
look at my sister, and they look exactly the same. You
Right.
put me in there, and it's like,
Really? Interesting.
So I want to actually say that part because I want to give him that respect.
And when did you find out he actually wasn't your father? I'll say biological father because
After he was dead.
after he was dead. That must have thrown you for
And
quite a loop.
we had wars about it. I'm your dad. Like, no, you're not. We don't look alike. Like, no, you're not. Like, it's obvious you're not. And it's battle. And why didn't I ever spend the $75 to do the tree thingamajig? Like, what was going on for me subconsciously that needed that angst? Whether he needed it to believe, to have himself feel a certain way, and me not wanting to crush that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Or for me, not
Yep.
needing to not know my dad yet again.
Right.
Dad.
Identity crisis.
I'm done. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't need a dad. I got it. Right. I got it.
Right. Oh my goodness.
So him and
So
I
was it better when you moved in with your dad?
Yes.
It was.
For a while.
Yeah. So he was
he brought in a lot of control. He had a janitorial service company and I was earning my rent, and so he's free labor kind of thing, which I'm not saying I shouldn't have paid, but he was definitely underpaying for the skill or the youngster in me that was vacuuming the floors 3 times as much as he was, kind of situation.
Yeah.
And kind of kept me from getting my driver's license because I don't really think he wanted me to go explore the world. And then I got introduced to speed from his best friend, which many, 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 many years later, I found out that he was actually doing speed with the best friend, but hiding it from me. So, because I went through, oh my God, I got him on drugs again.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
I'll circle back. He went to prison. Right.
Right. Right.
So I had that shame and guilt of, oh my gosh, like because of a choice I made. Now he's doing it. Right.
Which
So even
wasn't true. Which wasn't
right,
true.
right. So
Oh,
that addiction was 4 or 5 years.
and were you in school still, or you were graduated already?
No, graduate. Yeah, when I left, yes, when I left Texas, I had already graduated from high school,
Okay.
and then I worked for him, a janitorial company, and yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, let's take a second here, because like this is super heavy stuff. And when
I want to do one. I want to do one more, and then we're gonna do what I hope to a
yeah,
degree. We're gonna put it in the rearview mirror.
okay. I love
Right.
this.
And then
Yes.
let who some really famous country guy said it the other night at his acceptance speech. The rear view mirror is smaller for a reason, and the front windshield is bigger for a reason. Right.
That's good stuff.
And,
That's good
and
stuff.
so
Yeah.
so get this. Dad number 3, Tony, that led to Dominique as a last name.
Yes.
You're gonna love it.
Now is he real dad? No, wait, I'm confused.
No. He was just my wife. Wow. Whoa. My
Woo,
mom's
your
my
mom's
mom's
husband.
husband at the time when she adopted me back.
Got it.
And they were married for many, many, many years and whatever.
Okay.
So fast forward, she's already kicked me out of the house.
Yeah.
Right. And now I'm going for government aid to go to college.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I go where she's at and I say I need this signature so that they can look into your taxes so that I can get a scholarship and just show
Right.
that you don't make money and that you're not a millionaire and you can't help me and whatever. She says, no,
What?
I haven't asked for anything from you for 2 years. What do you mean? No.
I won't help you.
What do you mean? Right. So I'm starting to get violent, right? Like you words.
Yeah.
So that she calls the cops. The cops come. I'm in the back seat of a cop car, and my dad, Tony, comes over and they let me out, and he walks me over to where there aren't humans
Yeah.
and tells me that they can't sign the paperwork because the last name is assumed.
Oh, you're kidding.
And he's on the run from the law.
Oh my God.
And they can't sign the paper because they'll find him.
Oh
And
my.
I instantly knew why we moved around so much.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So
Wow.
let's go ahead and
Yeah.
and let's go into
Well, no, I really want to know. I'm going to put your YouTube channel up here too. But what I really want to know is, what was the awakening? It says at age 25, you started this lifelong journey of self-development. So you've been at this for a while. What was did it come on the heels of like a tragedy, or was it just this like, I'm sick of this life. I've got to.
I had this guy in my life, and we studied shamanism and Buddhism, and like pretty spiritual dude. I met him at the YMCA. I was walking from where I was living with my dad, walking up, trying to feel social, if you will.
Yeah.
And he took a self-help seminar on it, and then for a year and a half, mind you, I'm still a speed addict.
Yep.
He's like, when are you going to go? And I'm like, I'm not going to go. Yeah, I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing it. He's knee deep, always asking. And then one time he said, when are you going to go? And I said, I'll go when you pay for it.
Okay.
Right. And he goes, okay, great. Cool. So you up for paying me $50? I think it was $50 a month for 6 months or whatever it was. And I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
And he goes, great. It's this weekend. And I'll skip the rest of it. And I went that weekend.
Wow. And was that a Psi seminar?
It was.
Okay. And can you just briefly share with people what Psi stands for?
Sure. People synergistically involved.
Nice.
or,
Okay.
or they switch it around every now and again to Personal Success Institute.
Okay. So
Uh,
this is where you started to feel like you could actually create from an identity of success.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, I purchased some tools
Yep.
and I began to use them. And I had some graduates in my life that tutored me and in my world tolerated me. I'll remind you that I was a drug addict.
Right.
Um, I went into another janitorial company. I got away from my dad. I slept on my buddy's couch that I was just talking about.
Uh-huh.
Right. So right, severed that part. 2 years later, I went to the next class, which is leadership of self. Right,
Mhm.
size 7 is 7 days long. I was still a speed addict.
Wow.
So I was
And
7 day
you're
long.
such a high energy person. I can't imagine adding more energy to your personality.
Okay, and push back 25 years.
Yeah, even more. Oh my goodness. Wow.
So I went to size 7, and they'd wake up in the morning, and I would do the, oh, what a great night's sleep. And I'd been up reading the size 7 manual all night.
Yeah.
So even then, the people that were in my class saw something in me, and I wound up going to the next and final class, which was MLS, which is Men's Leadership Seminar. It's only men, and they have
Yeah.
WLS, which is only women.
Yeah.
One woman in the room changes the dynamic, and one man in the room changes the dynamic. So, and we have different, because size 7 is leader of self,
Okay.
and then MLS WLS is leader of leaders. So okay, cool. Like I'm governing myself pretty well. Then what's my focus? What's the give back? What's my purpose before God calls me home? Right,
Right. Right.
mission.
Right.
And so since it was a month later, I was still a drug addict, and I was going to the bathroom and putting speed in toilet paper because I didn't want to do the. What do you think we're going to learn today?
Right.
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 So there's
Yeah.
a difference in an addict,
Yeah.
because things happen when I don't get it. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going into the bathroom and I'm putting it in toilet paper and I'm swallowing it.
Oh my gosh.
So I have this wild conversation with a staff member, and I'm work sawing something apart, right?
Yeah.
Did you think you're all that in a bag of chips, don't you? And I was like, yeah, have you met me?
Yeah.
Right? Well,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
And he said, you're never going to be what you think you can be until you surrender to something bigger than you.
Wow.
And at the time, he was talking about baby Jesus and swaddling clothes. He
Wow.
was absolutely talking about a walk with Christ.
Right.
Now, these classes are not about that.
Right.
They're not being spiritual and connected to SoURce, yada yada. Of course, but it's not a Christian-based thingamajig.
Right.
And I was like, dude, whatever.
Right.
So I go to the bathroom to dose, and I spilt all of my speed in the toilet.
Oh wow. If that's not a sign.
So we were doing something that I was allowed to be up for 2 or 3 days working. And
Wow.
I had already started pinning myself up. I had already started doing an excess.
Right. Right.
And I could actually shine because I could move quickly and be on, drugs. And so I was,
Right.
so now all my drugs are gone for the next 5 or 6 days of the class.
Oh wow.
So I start coming down, and it's kind of like being dipped in mayonnaise. The
Oh.
body, the body has a sweat to it. My body had a sweat to it.
Oh my
I
god.
started to shake. And so so that situation ended, and the next situation put me alone for 3 days
Wow.
to journal, if you will.
So you're
To
detoxing in the middle of all of this. Holy cow. That's
so
intense.
I
And
spent
I
three.
can't believe you didn't leave.
So yeah, so I'm throwing up blood. I'm throwing up everything. I feel dipped in mayonnaise. I'm violently shaking,
Yep.
and I'm out in the woods, if you will. And other men that are in my class are like, Grant, check Grant, because they can hear me
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
up.
He's not okay.
And my squad leader came over and what's going on? We need to go to the hospital. I'm like, no. And I took a chance and I told him the truth.
Yep.
And
Wow.
he said, what do you need? And I said, I really need some milk, some water, and some bread.
Wow.
And in the cover of night, he brought me those things.
Wow.
And I walked out of that valley, and I've never touched it again.
Oh man.
I
That's
know that SoURce, God, Buddha, whatever it is that's bigger than me had a purpose for my life.
Yeah.
And the only way he could get me to hear how to stop that part and get to what he still allowed me to breathe for
Yeah.
was to show me a seminar.
Wow.
How do I get this knucklehead to listen?
Right.
How do
Right.
I get this guy to get the purpose done that I put in him to do what he can his way? How do I get him to it already?
Right.
What
Right.
what more does he have to put himself through to get to it?
Wow.
And he showed me a seminar company.
Wow.
And I've been
So did
knee
that
deep.
was it like a shift where you didn't crave the drugs or anything, or was
No, yeah,
like it just
it
ended?
was over. It was over. It was absolutely just over.
That's incredible.
I crap you not,
Yep.
and I've said this for a lot of years. Whatever.
Whatever.
Said this for a lot of years. I could sit there and play with it,
Yep.
put it into lines, weigh it, and not have any urge to do it in any way.
Wow.
I am delivered, if you will. There's
Wow.
no way
That's
I would
incredible.
ever touch it, ever.
Wow. That is incredible.
So you know, so
Wow. Just wow.
yeah, I'm on a mission.
Just wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm on a
I
mission.
just see like I know that you have so I want to just put up your link here for your Elite Source coaching. Um I feel so strongly that there are so many young men out there that need someone like you in their life,
Yep.
that just feel lost and purposeless and, you know, are just need someone like you to shine a light and say, "Listen, dude, I've been there and just come this way," you know?
Yes.
And that's why I feel so passionate about sharing what you're doing, because I feel like there is such a need right now for that purpose driven life, you know?
Absolutely. And I believe that there's a ton of people that do it, and I'm going to do it my way.
But you know, the thing
Because
about Cary,
quite frankly, I'm not for everybody.
no,
This
and
is this is me on TV right now. Me where I don't have to worry about my language or whatnot. Quite a bit different. You know, people's like knowing Cary Grant is like taking a drink off a fire hydrant. If you'd like some authentic feedback in your life, you can ask him.
I just love
You better be ready for some feedback. You know.
I just love the realness. And I feel
Yeah.
like in a lot of the seminar world and the coaching world, there needs to be more realness. Like we need to be more authentic with each other instead of putting ourselves, you know, I see this with coaching a lot and it drives me crazy, where people are on this pedestal and they're like, "Oh, I've got it all figured out and let me show you the way and let me charge you lots of money to show you the way." And it's like, the more real and vulnerable and authentic we can be with people, the more we give them permission to be real and authentic and vulnerable with us. And that's what heals. And if we're not healing, we're living surface. And if we're living surface, we're going to be doing all sorts of stuff to distract ourselves from what's really going on underneath.
Yes.
So I just,
Through vulnerability and intimacy, into me you see. I come down from behind the pulpit
yep,
and come down and be with people and tell them and be okay with telling them, I feel what you're saying. This is how it's going on in front of my life. And
yep,
for me, it's the empowerment of it.
yes,
I can stay up there and I can charge a lot of money and then I become the guru and then they keep giving me their money. Or I can come down and be with them and empower them
yes,
so that they go empower themselves, so that they empower other people.
yes,
I have a limit on how long I'll coach someone.
really. I
Because
love that.
if I don't get there, that
Yeah,
means I've put myself in a position for a
yep,
paycheck
yep,
versus, hey coach, love the money I spent with you. Thank you
yep,
for the tools. I'm
yep,
going to go on and I'm going to go do the thing
yep,
their way.
yep. Otherwise, like you just said,
Empowerment.
we're disempowering people and we're not actually
Yes.
helping them move forward.
Yes. And
That's a
there's plenty of those companies out there. Like not to poke fun at Starbucks, but
yeah,
in a way, there's some seminar companies out there that make you feel good, and you come to these summits and you get rah 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 rah. You pay a ton of money, and then you go to one once a month. You feel that rah rah rah. I equate it to Starbucks.
yeah,
It's the peppermint mocha. Look, I
yeah,
have the peppermint mocha. I have the triple latte, bobbity boo with half calf, whatever, and it's a symbol of yes, I go to so and so classes,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
that's okay.
yeah,
some people are into that. For
Yeah.
me, I want to stick and freaking move. I want
Yes.
to
Yeah.
freaking, I don't want to preach.
Yeah.
I want to coach.
Yeah.
I'm a great coach. If
Yeah.
you told me to come up with a sermon right now, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And there's more money in it. Trust me. There is
Yeah.
much more money in having a class
I
than it
know.
is on one-on-one coaching, or luckily nowadays there's Zoom or things like that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
want to empower people. I feel empowered. I feel like I've got something. I feel like I can connect with the people that would connect with me. And some people don't. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to do something with what got put into me by the masters that tolerated my silly butt for
Yeah.
so many years, being arrogant and ego and narcissism
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
of these things that were just,
They
thank
were
God.
just they were part of your process, you know?
I
I feel
agree.
like I've just recently come to this whole thing with the ego where I'm like, this isn't about me at all. This is more about a message that's coming through me, you
Sure.
know? Yeah.
Purpose.
Yeah,
Purpose.
that's amazing.
For
I'm
me,
hold on one sec. I just want to share your links here because you are all over the place. You're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're on Facebook. So if you want to find Cary Grant, it's Elite Source Coaching on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, right? You have a
yes.
Facebook site too. I don't know why I didn't
Yes.
put Facebook on there.
Okay.
And also your Gmail, if they want to get in touch with you, is Elite Source Coaching at Gmail. Tell me some of the things that you do, you know, as far as if somebody was going to coach with you, what are some of the things that you do with them? And, you know, what kind of stuff, what's your message?
Oh, so you had me until you said, what's the message?
What's the message?
The message is SoURce. It's just right on my shirt.
I love it.
SoURce.
I love it so
So
much.
ideally, it's
I love
I'm
it.
the source.
Yeah.
That's my message.
So good.
That's the message. No, we're done. We can hang up. We're done.
We're done.
That's it. It
That's it.
literally, what I have, I'm committed to because
Yeah.
I can look at it.
Yeah.
How do I know what I think about money? Go look at my bank account.
Yeah. I
Right?
love the word source. When you think about the
Right.
word source, like what am
Right.
I sourcing?
Right.
Right? Oh my God.
You are the source. Right? Right.
That's
I love it.
dude. That's
Ultimately,
prophetic. I'm getting a shirt. I'm getting off this call and I'm getting a shirt.
That's another. We have the apparel line, SoURce
You do
Apparel.
have the apparel line, and do they find that on your
If
.com?
they go to the Elite Source Coaching, it's
There you go. I'm getting a shirt. You guys all get yourself a shirt so that you can remind yourself that you are the freaking source.
Right. It's so funny. I feel like I have an apparel line, right? I've sold maybe 8 shirts, right?
I love it. But you do.
You never know. It could be 80,000. You never know when I'm going to say the right thing at the right time. And it's just one of those, I sold, now they're at Walmart. I don't know, right?
I love it.
But for me, kind of created it so I would have my own brand on a shirt, and then it kind of came out of like, well, why not offer them, right? To a degree.
Let's just for one second, I want to just touch on your creative side because you are an artist. You're an incredible artist. I'm going to just put up your floorseasons.com if anyone's in Vegas or Colorado, right?
Yes.
You do explain what you do in Floor Seasons because I've seen your work and it literally blows my mind.
Right. And we'll stay here for a second and then we're going to get off. So I make concrete beautiful.
Yes, you do.
I do tattoos for concrete, and I'm world renowned for it.
Yep.
I've changed my industry where it used to just be here, or it just used to be there, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. If it used to only be a cowboy floor. You literally had cows and sheep and things like that because it's an industrial floor, and now you see it everywhere. Now I'm not saying I'm responsible for all that, right? However. So I make concrete beautiful. That's the way. And a part of my surviving drugs also kind of had me take a lot of risk because what do I care?
Right.
I'll grind it off if something goes wrong.
Right.
I'm not a drug addict right now, and I think I can do it. And I got my clients to buy in on that.
Right.
We think you can too. Go for it.
Right.
And I was giving the art away so that I would have a portfolio for people to, whoa. I can have that too. Yes, you can, except you're going to pay instead of giving it away. So 21 years, perfect record with a contractor's board. And I still make money do that. And I still will until my father calls me home. However, I'm leading into a different part of my life, which is what I'm most passionate about. And to go back to the mission is to have people aware, empower them to utilize tools that are available that are stuck down inside of them. So for me, it's the iOS system, and I'm acutely aware of what my core iOS system says, and then
Okay.
I'll automatically pick up my phone and it says update, and I'll update it without even thinking because it's going to make it operate better.
Right.
When was the last time anybody did that for their freaking lives?
That's so true.
Or does the operating system, which is usually 8 years or below before we have a frontal
Yep.
lobe,
Yep.
I'm not worth it.
Right.
You're going to be poor like the rest of us.
Yep.
You are too tall.
Yep.
You're too short. You're
Yep.
a woman. You're a man. And the little genie goes, okay.
Yep.
Because those I ams are so important. Everything that becomes behind it becomes the truth. And
Yes.
so I usually am able to source any. See what I did there?
I
Source. That was
do.
I didn't mean to, but I heard myself say it.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I can almost source anything back to worthiness.
Yes.
Almost
Completely.
anything.
1000%. Yep.
I'll sabotage love because I'm not worth it. Because
Yep.
everybody gave me away.
Yep.
I'm not worthy of having the money in my life because I'm dumb and I'm illiterate. And so I'll sabotage job promotions.
So how do you change it? Tell me how to change it.
Right. So there's a ton of ways to do it. It's staying connected to the I ams. I became very
Because
diligent.
awareness of this stuff is not, it's not enough.
Oh yeah, it's got to be coupled with action.
Totally.
Has to be. So
Totally.
it's the I am statement. So I wrote them on my mirror. I am capable. I am vulnerable. I am accepting. I am wealthy. I am rich. I am smart. And I would just read them. And nowadays you can put a note on your phone to
Yeah.
where every 15 minutes it's a set of I ams, and
Yep.
every other day it's a different set of I ams.
Yep.
It's bringing a lot of, a lot of people would say discipline, and the word discipline kind of annoys me because I think of the word discipline when I was a child. So I like to think of it of diligence and being dedicated.
I like that.
Being very out in front of the I ams, right? What am I telling myself? And then remember in high school, it was FDCBA.
Yeah.
For your points, your average.
Yeah.
So the idea is to bring action to a thought and have action in it and get a better grade. It has to be higher than 51%. You're not going to get there very quickly at a 51.
Right.
However, at the end of the day, can I wash it off? No, I could have done that better and let it all go down the drain. If I get to wake up the next morning, how do I do it different? Get the percentage up. Ooh, that was an F. I'm not at 51%. All right. And then pop into a C and pop into a B. It's getting the locomotive moving.
So it's getting up every day and going, how do I do better than I did yesterday?
I usually do it the night before.
Okay.
So that I set the intention, and then my subconscious goes into dreaming on how to make that happen through the night. I get my little soldiers on. I don't need to know the answer. My subconscious can. And if I give them yes, sir, we'll give you answers in the morning, the subconscious just takes over. And I like to leave any kind of regret or anything that is a shadow in the day before, because that's where it needs to be. It needs to be in the rearview mirror when I wake up the next day.
Yes. Yes. So good. So good. So what exactly do you say to yourself before you go to sleep? Because this is actually a principle from Neville Goddard when he talks about the infinite of potential, and he talks about right before you go to sleep at night, you are ripe for manifestation because you've got that 7 or 8 hours to really work on that energetic, right? The energetic manifestations. What do you say to yourself before you go to sleep?
My little brat inside of me wants to say good night. Good job. I hope you wake up. I don't have a routine.
You don't?
Okay. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that I do, but what I did say about taking a shower is true.
Okay.
So I'll put my soap on my thing, and I will think about my day. And, I wish I'd done that differently with my son. How could I have done that? Yeah. So it's having an honest conversation with myself, right? Not beat up. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. And how do I want to show up differently tomorrow? And then when I'm washing it off, it's gone. It's down to a degree. I do have beat up sessions when I do something super silly. I'm not saying that I don't, or it's all going to go down the drain.
Right.
but that's how I do it.
But the beating yourself up, it doesn't really provide you with growth. It's when you can step above
Well,
that, right? And be more less judgmental.
it can be. It's zooming out because
Yeah.
so much time is spent zoomed in, and it
Yeah.
gets where I can't really. If I zoom out, I can actually see it.
Yes.
Now, polarizing it. Now, sometimes for men, we operate our best from either fear or anger.
Okay.
So I don't mind sometimes if I am driven by anger.
Okay.
If I'm getting the thing that I'm going after, and especially if I can recognize I'm angry about my
Yes.
performance yesterday and
Yeah.
I'm going to be a savage today,
Yes.
cool. Right
Yes.
on. You do
Yes.
you.
There's
Right.
action and anger. There's action and anger. I've said it before.
Right. And fear. To
Yeah.
go back to the story about how the guy broke the sound barrier. Right.
Yep.
And so I don't mind it as long as I'm in action about it.
Yep.
As long as there's an honesty to it. No one else knows what's going
Yep.
on for me in a way where I can just do better the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
And
Be
it's
honest.
not making it good or bad.
Yeah.
It's investigating. I call it being an Inspector Clouseau or Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story of could be good, could be bad?
No, tell me.
So it's super
Oh,
quick.
is
But
it
the,
okay, go ahead. Just
but
say
the
it.
other part of it too is it's not making it good or bad. But be careful of that. Not making it good or bad must also be coupled with action.
Right.
Either way,
Okay.
take an honest look at it. So could be good, could be bad. I'm going to make the story up. I'm going to say it super fast. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Back in the 1600s in Japan, there was an older man that had a farm and he had a 20-year-old son. And they
Yep.
had a field and the horse ran away.
Yep.
All the villagers came over and they said, "No, oh no, your horse ran away. How are you going to plow the fields?" Could be good, could be bad. Right? So they bounce out. They take off.
Yeah.
A couple days later, horse comes back with another horse. Villagers come back over. "Oh my gosh, now you can do twice as much. Oh my gosh, how great is that? And you stayed calm. Oh my gosh." He goes, "It could be good, could be bad." They bounce out, still confused, right?
Yep.
A couple days later, the 20-year-old son's out there training the new horse to do what the horse needs to do to help him plow things. Kid gets thrown off, breaks both of his legs. Villagers come back. "Oh no, what are you going to do? Your kid's legs are broken," whatever, right? And he's like, "Could be good,
Could be bad.
could be bad." What? Okay. They take off. A couple days later, the army comes to town and they take all young boys that could fight the war for them. And still the answer is it could be good, it could be bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Inside of finding something that's good can also be a mask of not taking any action to refine it.
Right.
Oh, no, I'm transformed. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can still refine.
Right.
I'm more generous than I ever have been, and I'm still looking to refine that.
Right.
I'm a great father. I don't need to be a better father. I want to be a better father. Need implies broken subconsciously to me. Want it. No, I need to be a better dad. I want to be a better dad.
Yeah.
Woo, let's go.
Totally different. Totally different.
I also
Totally different vibe.
also polarizing something bad is it could do the beat up versus
Right.
what is it? Be honest, take a look at it and go.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be good or bad, but what is true is what is the lesson either way? And sometimes those don't come. Those could take months,
Yeah.
years because a process is going on. A divorce is going on.
Yes.
What am I learning in this moment, good and bad? Or if you can even do that, right?
Yeah.
But there is a lesson in it. It is going on for a reason, guaranteed. And so my ability to, okay, could be good, could be bad.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be learning right now.
Yes.
Gosh, I really wish I had handled that differently with my 7-year-old son. He's not 14. Oh, right. But being able to be gentle, kind, and courteous
Yeah.
to myself and others and giving myself a soft place to land.
Yeah.
And by being intimate and vulnerable with people is the way it gets done. When I come around the pulpit and say, "Hey, I know what that feels like."
Yeah.
And I've been through a lot of, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Drug addiction, yada, yada, yada. And I'm very, very good at being vulnerable and intimate.
Yeah.
Into me, you see.
Yeah.
Into me, you see.
And that is
thrive on it.
Connection. And that, I believe, is one of our greatest resources on this planet is our connection to others and how we learn and grow and move in relationships with others. I totally believe that. I love that story, by the way. It's one of my favorite stories. Could be good, could be bad, but
I just heard it like
never remember
2
the
months ago.
details. I'm very proud of you for remembering, because I'm like, oh, he's remembering.
I tell it all the time now. I just heard it 2 months ago.
I'm going to retain it. I'm going to take it.
It's so good. It's such a great, because my thing when I'm working with people is do what you're going to do. I really would rather stay at it, be up. I don't mind being Inspector Clouseau and having some fun with it, and because that's what we want. But when you start doing into that, it really slows down. It like puts a rubber band around your hips, where we're kind of, it's counterintuitive to a degree.
Yeah.
Should we search for what? Sure. Yes. It's being steadfast in being okay. So I take you out to the desert.
Yep.
And I give you enough water and enough food to make it back to town. And I give you a map where the town is, and I leave you with a compass.
Okay. What
is the most important? You have just enough water to make it there. What's the most important thing to know?
Well, the funny thing is I'm probably not going to find my way because I'm just directionally challenged.
Hey, guess what?
Where I'm going, right? No.
Where you're at.
Where I'm at. Right.
Because if I don't know where I'm at, I may know where I'm going. But if my trajectory, if my trajectory is just a little off, I could miss the town.
You're right.
A self-assessment of where I truly am. I'm a great guy. Yeah. I'm the best dad that's ever lived.
No growth in
whoa,
that.
Whoa. I'm not talking about beat up. Not. But there's an assessment that is paramount. Where am I truly at financially?
Yeah.
Where am I truly at as a parent, as a mother, as a father? Yeah. Where am I truly at as a partner? Where am I at truly as a boss? Yeah. Are my guys putting up with me, or do they feel empowered?
Yeah.
Right? Good. So that assessment is paramount. And then right past that is the I am statement. I am wonderful. Everything that comes behind the I am becomes the truth.
Yep.
Because the little genie goes, okay.
Yeah.
Then it must be coupled with action, because I can say, I'm going to be the richest man on the planet. What? And then I go spend $800 on shoes when I don't have the mortgage money. So I'm not in alignment in my actions.
So true. Yes.
Right? So that's not the 51%. That's going to blow it back.
Yeah.
People that wonder why they're not getting the things that they dream about is because they're not in alignment in their actions to have them.
So true. I always say you can't spend.
I want to be a better dad, and then they go be a butthole to their kids again.
Yeah.
It's just wordplay. Blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Empty words. Yep. Yeah. I love that. That's super powerful.
In action.
Well, Cary, I can't believe this hour is up. Like,
has it been a golden hour?
That was amazing. That was truly like one of my favorite shows. Like, what you shared was impactful and powerful and vulnerable. And I'm really in awe that, first of all, I'm in awe that we're still connected. And I just feel like that is very divinely inspired.
Right? Because that could have gone a different way.
I know. I didn't even know you even paid any attention to where I was or what I was doing. And the connection that we've had and the incredible people that I would love for everyone to know that just about everyone that it's been on the Golden Hour has been a connection through you. So I have so much gratitude for that, first of all. And secondly, just having you on this show and what you're doing in the world and being able to promote that just feels very much in alignment with my message and what I want to bring to the world together. So like, it's not about, it's not about me, and it's not about I, it's about us. It's about being a team of people that are raising the consciousness of the world and doing it in a way that's healing and helpful and empowering. And I really I just congratulate you for that. So thank you for everything you shared and for just being who you are.
You're welcome. To Brandon, what you were saying, I started SoURce as me. And then almost as quickly as I did it, it became a resource. And some of your guests are in business with me. There's some women.
Yeah.
There's some men. there's some people that aren't quite me, for Pete's sake. In case you're watching this now and I'm not your guy, just know that Elite Source Coaching has other people available. But I brought it in, so it wasn't a I go, it wasn't an ego, it was a
Yeah,
we go, because
we
one
go.
of the coaches is Candy, and she's one of the
Love her.
most profound women that I have such an ease at speaking to her intimately and feel. And I
Yeah.
know some of her story, and
She's
some of
incredible.
it wasn't so easy.
Yeah. No,
And
she's
so
been on the show.
for me to have a safe space,
Yep.
so she's one of the other people that are involved, and it became a we go.
I love
How do we get potent with what's in front of us? And thank you for putting me in front of you.
I love this.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
I
I'm
want to
using
be,
that. I love it. How we
yeah,
go.
I want to be effective and
Yep.
potent.
I love it.
So for me today was be effective and potent. And so now, there it goes. Who knows who's going to hear this? Thank you for having the show. Thank you for having me on it.
Yeah, I just want to have you back. This was so good. All right. Thank you for being with us. I really, truly appreciate you. You can find Cary Grant at elitesourcecoaching.com.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I would highly recommend working with him.
There you
That's
go.
all we have for today. Thanks a lot.
Feels golden.
Woo! Oh, there we go.